Speaking of crap going on in the NFL and some, rumors about this guy, rumors about that guy, and who's the New England quarterback, and, how does that play for this week against the Jets? The Chicago Bears win last night's game, and they're now right there with your Green Bay Packers. Well, there's another story that's brewing out there that I just want to say from Jump Street, I hate it. I'll explain why I hate it in a second. An anonymous general manager assessed the Green Bay Packers situation and specifically the Aaron Rodgers situation. You guys put that up? All right, so here we go. They, meaning Green Bay, created a monster. He's got a voice in personnel now, or at least he thinks he does. The knives are about to come out there. That could get really ugly. They should have traded him when they had the chance. They're stuck with him now. They're in serious bleep now. Okay, first off, if I accept the fact that that quote is actually from an actual general manager in the NFL, it bothers me to a great extent because I hate anonymous anything.
Can't stand it. I'm with
Right?
you.
It
drives me nuts.
Absolutely. Don't, I just got to say this. If you're going to talk about somebody, at least put your face or your name attached to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Whether you're applauding them, praising them, or being critical of their performances, just attach your name to it, period. Don't hide behind this anonymous thing of saying all of what you want to say and nobody knows who you are. I get it. A lot of what was said probably is true. They did create a monster.
Sure.
They definitely created a monster.
They felt like they had no choice.
But
they wanted to keep a franchise quarterback.
Absolutely. But at the level that he was playing, he deserved a contract extension. He earned that. And so you got to make a decision. They went with Aaron. They thought he was going to provide them more years or more of a runway to where they can then make a decision on Jordan Love. If he's going to be the guy that they move on with, who knows? But to not put your name with it, it just bothers me to my core when I'm a guy that sits here and I'm going to tell you truth, whether you like it or not, and my face and my name is going to be attached to it.
Yeah, here's the other problem I have with reports like this. I don't believe them, just inherently. And I don't want to accuse, I don't even know who the reporter was that put it out there, but it makes me not believe it. Because I have a very tough time believing that an active general manager in the NFL would sit down with the reporter and comment on the Green Bay situation in that manner. I really have a tough time buying it.
Happens all the time. I get asked all the time, hey, Greg, we can anonymously, don't have to
off
say
the record
off
kind of thing?
Yeah, I know. But if I'm going to speak on it, put my name on it.
Sure.
Period. It happens all the time. You hear these, and I used to feel that way, that you felt like, who anonymously is going to say this?
What's in it for the GM that said it? Because the first thing I started thinking of, okay, who benefits from that story being out there? Minnesota, Chicago, and Detroit, specifically, first and foremost, right? Teams in the division. I guarantee you Detroit ain't saying nothing because they're a beep show right now. They got their own problems, right? Minnesota's sitting pretty.
They're sitting pretty, but why? They have a new general manager. He's
not saying anything.
Not saying, you know what I mean?
That's why I hear what you're saying, and I get it. And I've been a reporter, and yeah, there are levels where you need sources to do your job. So I respect that. I have a tough time that an active general manager is going to say that knowing exactly what the result's going to be.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So as a reporter, you've seen the other side of it, obviously. And so you've been a part of or seen other reporters who just put these stories out there and really don't have enough.
I have seen firsthand reporters throw stuff out there that they made up. I've seen
Interesting.
it. Yep. And by the way, I covered the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years in the mid-'90s when Ray Rhodes was their head coach. All right, and I knew Ray very well. And I saw guys do it. I sat in rooms where I heard everything the other guys heard, and they invented things that never took place because a lot of these guys are trying to make a name for themselves. And we are all protected by anonymous sources. We never have to reveal them, ever. So what's going to stop me, you, Cody, whomever, from saying, hey, I talked to an active NFL quarterback. He says, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they're washed up. Okay, that becomes a news story. Who'd you talk to? I'm not going to reveal my sources. And I'm not pro Green Bay, as you know. I get joy out of watching Green Bay, falling apart. I love it. But I hate the fact that we put out these anonymous stories with no basis or backing to it, knowing exactly what's going to happen. This is going to be a big deal today. It's going to be a big deal in Green Bay. Or tomorrow when they come back.
It's going to be a huge deal.
Yep.
And
100%.
And it's unfortunate because, again, the Green Bay they're still in it. Like, all is not lost. And I think that sometimes get lost in the mess.
Well,
of
let me do
losing.
you one better before we wrap this up, all right? The other part of the story that bothers me is if I'm doing talk radio in Green Bay and I got every Packer fan listening to me, the first question I have is, was it the Packers GM that said it?
Yeah.
Was it LaFleur who said it? Because things aren't going well in Green Bay. And we know that relationship isn't amazing, at least from the front office. And I always pronounce the guy's name wrong because it's a tough name to pronounce. Guten Shrink, whatever, right? I can't say, I got pie. It's Guten Kunst.
Nailed it.
If I'm Guten Kunst and my job's on the line, I leak that story. And that's where I'm going with it. And I'm not saying he did because it's anonymous. But who benefits from an attack on Aaron Rodgers? Gutenkunst. LaFleur. Make it Aaron's problem. He's the reason we're losing, right?
But I don't think you even have to go that far if you're in that position. Like, fans have eyes, players understand. We see what we see. Aaron's not playing great.
Correct.
But no one on that offense outside of Aaron Jones in that running game is playing great. So you can share the blame across the board. Obviously, majority of it is going to be dumped into the lap and on the hands of Aaron Rodgers, which I believe it should be, because offensively with Matt LaFleur, this offense has looked great. When you had Devontae Adams, when you had a guy that Aaron trusts, it worked.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you take that one guy away and it doesn't work anymore, that you got to blame a lot of it on Aaron Rodgers.
Well, we're going to follow that story, of course, throughout this entire week because I know it's going to blow up, and Aaron's going to obviously comment on it most likely later today. And then the media assembles Wednesday in Green Bay. So the more they mess up, the more I like it. I just hate the fact that we have this anonymous source
Don't do that.
saying things suck in Green Bay. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.